Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Asma Assam and this is Asma's Space. Today I have a special guest, my friend Lennon. How are you?
Thank you, I'm very good. Thank you for welcoming me into your space.
So Lennon is actually my friend. He is an American traveler. He inspired me so much. And he is a Philly YouTuber. So today we're going to play a game to help you guys to practice English and practice your listening. It's pretty easy and pretty fun game. We're going to ask questions. I'm going to ask you a question, you answer, and then you will ask me and I will answer. For the first question, what's it like being a traveler?
That's a pretty big question, honestly, and I would say the short answer is it's amazing.
Yeah.
I love traveling. It's not for everybody. It can definitely be shocking and jarring, but I like traveling specifically because it forces me outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And anytime I'm outside of my comfort zone, I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm becoming more of who I'm capable of becoming, and I'm also simultaneously learning about the world. So I think being a traveler is beautiful.
Awesome, that's really good. So how many countries have you visited?
I've been to more than a dozen. This is my first time to Africa. I've traveled a bit throughout America, one stop in Canada, one stop in Mexico, and pretty extensively throughout Asia.
Perfect. Now it's your turn to ask me.
Okay,
Yeah.
My question for you is why are you learning English? Like, why is it important to you to learn English, and why might others be interested in learning English?
Actually, I learned English by coincidence. I liked a song for Celine Dion.
Oh, cool.
And I was interested to know what does it mean.
Okay.
So I kept searching for lyrics, and then I kept searching for words, and until I got really involved in this process, so I kept searching for more songs. So basically I learned from the pop music, and then movies, and then YouTube. So you can say that the culture attracted me in a way or another. So
Nice.
It wasn't intentional at all. But I feel it's really important because now you can see English everywhere. Even if you are from a different culture, we can still communicate in English.
Right.
So I think it's really important for everybody to learn because you're going to need it at work, making new friends, traveling. It's really important for everybody to learn.
Great.
So tell us about the best and the worst thing about Egypt. That's tricky.
That is tricky.
Yeah.
Definitely, in my opinion, the best thing about Egypt is the people.
Yeah. I know. I know.
No, I'm serious. Like I didn't know what to expect. This is I've been to Malaysia, which is also a Muslim country, but it's a bit different. It's like a big mix, actually.
Yeah.
So this is my first time like being to a really true Muslim country, and I wasn't sure what to expect, but I've been blown away. I feel very grateful for the hospitality that I've received from Egyptian people everywhere that I've traveled throughout the country.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You can be Egyptian. Come on.
Oh, well, I did get my 90-day residency card, so I think I'm halfway there.
Yeah, okay. Or maybe you can exchange our passports. I'll be glad.
Yeah, okay. You might have a hard time getting through security, though.
Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you. I'm good with Egypt.
Second question for you is, since you've been exposing yourself to American culture, what's something that's odd or different that you've learned about American culture that maybe surprised you?
It's not odd, it's just different how open the lifestyle is for American people, how you can guys do whatever you like. And here it's like kind of restricted because of culture and religion. So whenever I'm exposed to something new that you guys do, I'm like, whoa, you guys can do this?
Can you give me an example?
There's a lot of things like the freedom that you guys get, especially having a boyfriend and a girlfriend. This
Or
something
both.
here, or both, or both. Yes, exactly. This thing is not actually really common here.
Right.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm
It's
just
just
saying it's different. Yeah,
I
this is
understand.
one thing.
Okay.
So, what's the best thing about being an American?
Well, something we were talking about earlier is how English is like the global language.
Yeah.
And so I feel really fortunate to be a native English speaker. I think this is just a huge advantage for me, especially as a traveler.
Yes, exactly.
And I think just in general, America has some rough parts for sure, and maybe seems to be a little bit on the decline. But definitely being born an American, I feel very fortunate. Like I think about
it's like
this.
a privilege.
Yeah, I think it definitely is. Like, and not all countries are as well developed or as prosperous as America, and so even though I was from a poor family in America, like still just from a like global wealth standpoint, I'm extremely fortunate.
Yeah.
So I
agree with you.
Yeah, I don't love everything about America, but I definitely feel very grateful to have been born in America.
100%. All right, your
Great.
turn.
All right. What is something you've learned about American culture that you particularly like? Like, what's your favorite thing?
What's my favorite thing? The road trips concept.
Oh, cool.
I love that. Yeah, it's
cool.
like spending the night in the car, exploring or discovering a new place. This is a really good mentality that we don't have here. Actually, when we have 1 or 2 days off, we just sleep. Or maybe we can go somewhere, but it's planned or with group. It's not really common to find like a family gathering and they're taking their car and they're going to somewhere that it's not really common for people to go. So I love this a lot. I wish I could do this. But in Egypt here, there isn't a lot of options to do so. So I think America is the perfect place for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I actually want to piggyback on your question because I'm surprised you brought this up. I was talking about this exact topic last night.
Oh,
as a matter of fact.
I'm spying on you.
I'm staying at a guest house and there is another American there. And we started talking about road trips along with our host.
Yeah.
And she mentioned that this is not really a thing that happens much in Egypt. In America, I actually last year had bought an old camper trailer. And I renovated it.
Wow.
And I took my mother on a road trip.
That's
we
beautiful.
spent just a couple of months actually visiting old friends and family, her old childhood hometown. And America's so big that like you can take road trips that will last weeks, honestly.
Yeah.
But I heard that there's actually you
it's
can't
not a thing
even
here.
do RVs or camper trailers like that in
I think
Egypt.
you can, but where are you going to take this?
Maybe to Sinai.
Maybe, but I don't know. It's not common. Maybe when somebody does it, it would be okay. But until now, we haven't seen anybody doing this, so we're all like, this is weird, but it's fun at the same time.
You guys, road trips are awesome. If you ever get the chance to do a road trip, I highly recommend it. It's just it's a great to be on the road, see the scenery, visit sites, learn some things.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Just
I love
go
road
for
trips.
it, and if you ever do this, take me with you.
Right. Yeah. A mentor of mine, he's very much like a father figure to me, and he was not from Oregon, but had spent many years in Oregon, my state, on the West Coast, but moved across the country to be closer to one of his sons.
Aww.
And every year now, for I think this is his 4th year, he does a cross-country tour in his RV with his wife during the summer.
This is really adorable. So my question is, what are the differences between the Egyptian culture and the American culture?
Well, you touched upon this aspect earlier about the openness of American society. And also, America tends to be quite secular, which means non-religious. Of course, there is religion in America. We have on our currency the words, "In God we trust," printed on our currency. But over time, actually, religion has kind of been removed more and more from society. Like, not systematically, like we have freedom of religion, you can practice religion, but here's a concrete example. When I was young and I would go to school, we would do something called the Pledge of Allegiance, where we would say this thing to the American flag. And in this like little poem that we would recite, there was the word God. And some people had contention with this, and so they made a fuss about it, and schools decided to do away with the pledge.
Word God.
No, with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag itself. because we have this concept of a separation of religion and state, meaning that the government should have its own sphere, it does its own thing, and then religion has its own sphere and does its own thing, but they shouldn't be intertwined because then it can maybe get messy.
Yeah. Okay, so what are more differences you think?
More differences? Yeah, well, the food is different. I mean, everything is different. The music, the language, like culture in general, and cultural norms.
Yeah, exactly. Gender roles.
Gender roles, this is a big one, for sure.
A huge one.
Gender roles have become very blurred in America. Like, it used to be the case that there were things that men did and things that women did, and it still is the case, but it's becoming less so in America, where like women can do more of the men things that they want, and men can do more of the women things that they want as well. Great. This is like my next question is actually a really nice segue from your question. What is something that you think, in your opinion, Americans can learn from Egyptians?
I think Americans can learn hospitality from Egyptians, because we tend to be very generous, especially with strangers. And it's even more for Bedouins and people in the countryside. So I think if American people learn that, it would be great. No offense, anyone. Just saying.
I'd like to elaborate on American hospitality, if you don't mind, and kind of share my perspective. So, because America is such a large country, we have diverse cultures throughout the country. And sort of the stereotype of different regions is that in the South, especially the deep South,
they're very generous.
Yeah, they have great hospitality.
Yeah.
I haven't really explored this part of the country, but this is my perception. This is what I've heard. And the West Coast, where I'm from, tends to be pretty friendly as well. For example, specifically in small towns. If you see somebody on the street, they'll wave, they'll say hi.
The same way here in Egypt. This is what I said, like Bedouins and the countryside, the smaller societies are welcoming more than the big city.
Yes.
Is it the same case in America?
Yes. My experience in New York was, actually I could say cultural shock, even though I was still within America, because it's so fast-paced, so busy. There's just so many people that people don't make time for strangers on the street. You really just, the kind of mentality is you just kind of ignore everybody.
Yeah.
And if you say hi to them, I actually heard that saying hi can be considered rude, because I'm busy, I need somewhere to go, and now you're saying hi, you're taking my time, I have to say hi to you. Right, this is different. This is like...
It's crazy.
Yes.
Tell us something you learned in Egypt.
Okay, the first thing that comes to my mind is the word inshallah.
Oh.
I love this. This has been such a great thing for me to learn, because every Egyptian people say inshallah all the time. You guys say it all the time. And every time I hear it, it makes me reflect. It makes me think about my own life. And it makes me remember, oh yeah, God willing. I will see you tomorrow if I'm still alive and if everything goes according to plan, but we don't know.
Yeah.
And so when I hear inshallah, it makes me become more present in my life, and it helps me to remember how meaningful my life is, and that things are not always in my control.
Wow.
Okay, so I asked you what Americans can learn from Egyptians. Do you think there's anything that Egyptians can learn specifically from Americans?
Yes, my fellow Egyptians. Please mind your own business.
Oh my gosh.
I know this is offensive, but okay, I live in the countryside, and that means that you have no privacy whatsoever. Everybody knows everything about you. Everyone is expecting something from you. So, nowadays when somebody comes to our home, visit us, the first thing they ask me about is marriage. And if I get married, they're going to ask me about kids. If I have a kid, they will ask me for another kid. And the circle keeps going.
How many kids do you have before they stop asking?
How many?
How many kids do you have to have before they'll stop asking you?
endless kids.
Endless
and if
kids.
And if you have a lot of kids, they will tell you enough. That's a lot, you know. There's no space. People know everything about you, and if you do something wrong or right, they're just there. And there's something funny about my house. The area where we live is really tiny, and you know, houses are literally really close to each other.
Okay.
So if you sneeze, somebody on the street could tell you bless you.
Oh my god. Okay, that's definitely like that would not happen in America. We would just pretend we never heard it.
One time I was calling my dad and my neighbor said yes. I swear that it happened. So I think one thing we can learn from Americans is minding our own business.
Wow.
It would be great, you guys. Try this. It will change your life.
Well, I think that Americans, we like to gossip too, but from what you're saying, it definitely seems to be at a little bit of a higher level. Yeah. I have something else on my mind which I want to share. It's a bit of a segue, a bit of a tangent, but I think it's interesting, so I hope the viewers will like it. I watched a video about actually like how gossip developed, and it was very necessary.
Yeah.
When in more primitive times, because gossip is a way of learning about who's safe and who's dangerous. And so this is like the origin of gossip, and this is why, according to the speaker, it persists to today.
I think it's the same idea of watching movies or TV series, because it's like it's giving you the curiosity you need to hear or to know about other people without even being put in the situation. It's like you're watching from a distance. I think it's the same way when it comes to gossip.
Yeah. So let me just say to the viewers, if you have not subscribed to Asma's Space, then please do so now. She's awesome. She's fun to hang out with. You hang out with her, you're going to improve your English, you're going to have some fun as well.
Thank you so much for being here today, Lennon.
Yes.
And don't forget as well to go and subscribe for Lennon's channel. It's awesome, it's inspiring, and you will get to travel to a lot of places and a lot of countries in the world without even going already. So it's going to be awesome. Go subscribe now. I will leave the link in the description box. And thank you, Lennon, so much for being here today.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, and I hope we will collaborate. Actually, we are collaborating right now. If you visit his channel, you will find another video. What is it about, Lennon?
We're going to be talking about Islam, and what I want to ask you specifically, like what it means to you to be a Muslim woman, and what some of the misperceptions that us Americans might have about Muslim people in general.
Yes, and it's going to be interesting. Go, guys, and check it out. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace and love.
And I will see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.